Seems pretty standard Ward Haven. Alright, whenever you guys are ready. So both of these players are 1-0. That means that the winner will be 2-0. And then they'll be in a pretty good spot. The sweet guy kills the ward that Imperial killed. Instead of going evil, you crush the pig. Then go 2-2, 3-3, 3-3 face. Alright, I mean, I believe you guys. It's really not that big of a deal, dude. I've missed it before. Wolves until again. It's really not a big deal. Okay, we got Justin down here with the Maskers, which I respect. And up here we got Joyverse with the young Mordecai, which I don't like too much. But, you know, part of the fun of the different leaders is that you get to a point now where there's so many different leaders in the game. You want to see just a variety of them being played, right? So we don't usually see Mordecai, which is, it is cool to see him every once in a while. Justin's got the Ramiel going second, but no other 2-drop yet. I feel like, you know, when you get the Ramiel, you really want to Evoid and get the ramp. But would you not play a 2-drop? Mordecai is not a waifu. And there is another 2-drop for Justin, so I guess that's a good curve. You can just hold on to a Ramiel. I mean, he's got a lot of good stuff, man. Ramiel, Ra, Wilbert. I think I've played enough Ward Haven to see it. This is pretty good. I mean, I can't imagine that he would play Ramiel. There's really no reason to, right? Mordecai is not a waifu, but he is a duelist. Mordecai, the eternal duelist, right? Okay, maybe another skeleton. Wraith on 3 for the curve.
I want to get it all back.
So the Shadow gameplay is still the same, right? Just trying to get the Gremory. Yeah, Haven was not banned for Justin because Justin has a control portal, which was banned instead. Okay, not gonna play Sarisa just yet. Gonna Axel the Wilbert. This means that he can't just go Ramiel into Wilbert. But, you know, because of the bike, if he just played this Sarisa, it was gonna get answered, right? So Sarisa was not gonna play. Goes with the Wilbert instead. He might draw another one. If not, he might play Ra or something. But yeah, it would have been a nice curve to just go Ramiel into Wilbert for sure. We're playing on the honor system, Eric. I mean, it's just a fun tournament. There's no money on the line. You know, we're all friends here playing for fun. If you feel like you need to cheat in a tournament like this, then I mean, we can't really stop you, but I don't think anybody would. Plus, you guys don't have to play matches on stream. So if you think your opponent would cheat, you just don't play it on stream anyway. But I can't imagine anybody would cheat. Okay, burn the card means he gets free Shadow, which is not bad for Shadow. The Grudge Teller, so you know, it's not the same Shadow as we see in the ladder, right? There's some variations of it. Through the Ramiel, damage protection can be very annoying sometimes. Draws the Lover, but can't play it on 5. Gonna go with the 1-2 Bane Rush Machina Girl.
So much more
Picked up a bunch of 1-1s. Gets the clear. 15 Shadows. I think he's on curve for like a turn 7 Gremory for sure. We were gonna play tier 1 decks in it. I mean, they could. Yeah, so like here, Wilbert would be very good to just play here, right? Ra is still good. It's not like Ra is bad. The Enhanced Sarisa, not so much. No early Ambelt. I think it's just Ra. I mean, actually, could Blight if he wants to clear the board, but it's just a couple of 1-1s. I do like getting the Rod Leader out as soon as possible. And then he just won't have to worry about it later on. Now for Joyverse, 6 play points. He's got to just build up those Shadows. And I'd like to think that Wraith is always the best way to do that, right? The Enhancers generate so much value. So many Shadows, so many bodies, so much card draw and heal. Really gives you everything you need. So he's set up for Gremory next turn. And he's got Trio in hand, as well as Fill Order and Necro Impulse. So like he's not gonna be shy of damage. And he has a board too. So seems like Justin's in quite a bad spot, to be honest. Like Blight is not a full clear, he needs like Blight and Ramiel. So recent hand still not really doing anything. Gonna go with the card draw, but now he only has 4 play points to enter the board. Now he only has 1 play point. I guess he's not gonna enter the board because he's gonna leave him board locked with the Gramarye. That said though, this already is 8 damage. And he can still play Necroimpulse to buff the board. Or, I mean, just go face and then set up lethal for next turn. It's not like Justin's board lock allows him to win the game next turn or anything like that. So, I think Joyverse is taking this. Is that lethal actually? I guess it's not, but it is close, right? Just gonna catch some damage so that it's easier to get the lethal next turn. It seems okay. Yeah, there was no ambush for Justin, so... Like, at this point, cool, he can answer the board. But then you're up against Shadow with Gramarye active, like 9 cards in hand, and 8 play points. And realistically, there ain't no comeback from that. His Yukari is not even Union Bursted. If Yukari was Union Bursted, like maybe that's a way that he could try and survive. But no Union Burst on the Yukari, so it's gonna be just choose how you want to go out, Justin. I wonder if the game would have been different, you know. I mean, obviously, having an ambush would have definitely changed the outcome of the game. Or the curse of the game. Maybe the outcome's not the same, right? But definitely want early ambush. The early Wilbur Axel, because there was no Wilbur on 6. Teresa can answer, but... I mean, come on, it's Shadowcraft. There's gotta be 45,000 damage here, right? All I gotta do is like play Trio, play Grudge Teller. I don't even know what's in Fatal Order, but whatever it is probably good. Cause no shadows, go back to 8 play points. Fatal Order. Grudge Teller, that will do it. He has an Evo for next game? He does. Fubi in the chat, that's what Fubi. This is the round 2 Swiss of the Panda / Penguin Cup, yeah. We're currently watching Justin against Joyverse, and Joyverse is currently up a game. So we'll see if Justin can make that comeback. I did like the Meowsker leader, it was a good choice. But, I don't know, he got bodied. Just completely bodied. Honestly, Wraith is so good, right? Like, how often do you see turn 3 Wraith into turn 6 Enhanced Wraith? And then bam, Gramarye. Okay, just gonna run it back with the Haven. And now we're seeing Joy versus Rune. His Rune deck is a little weird. He's got like the shop in there, the Vincent, the Miser, and then shop. 1 Kuon, no Rooney. So he's got, you know, like vehicle Rune, something like that. See, 1 animated Ramiel for Justin, but not a second one. It was kind of weird, right? Like, don't you guys feel like once you have animated cards, you kind of want to have the animated playset, right? It just feels more nice. But obviously, you know, it's hard. Let's see if Joybird wants to curve over to 1-drop. I don't think so. Like, those can get so much more better later on. Major Meowsker is more like Major Jobber. Oh, he's gonna play Miser in 1. I mean, there's a chance that he could just curve out and get badly out of it right away. I don't hate it. Wraith is what Singer wished she would be. Okay, Justin not gonna play his 1-drop. So I guess the idea is that you go Deputy, and then Miser survives, and you get the battle right away, plus the 1 damage. And if Justin spends 2 playables to clear the Miser here, then you're trading a 2-drop for a 1-drop, which as the Rune player, you still consider an absolute win, right? My animated cards become Biles. I mean, not everybody likes the animated cards, I get that. I personally really like them though. You go for 1 animator of everything you like. Okay. Yeah, this is really good early tempo from Joyverse. Okay, there is an ambush for Justin this time around. And he still has the Ramiel into the Wilbur, which is just not bad at all. But is he going to ignore the 4-3? He has a Scripture. Could be a turn to like set up the ambush in Scripture, for example. Is that going to take the Shrine online? I like holding Shrine for turn 4 going second, because it costs 2 play points. Feels pretty good to go Shrine into Ramiel, for example. Okay, Joyverse picks up the Arrow Elementalist. Could buff it up. Gonna go buff up the Bandit instead. You know, continuing with his early game tempo power plays. Not bad. Not bad at all. He could have cashed in another Meiser. But I'm gonna just set up the Authorine. Authorine doesn't do anything this turn, but I'll draw a card next turn. Okay, so Justin gets Ramiel, picks up counterattack. He can probably play Ambelt here. I feel like you still want to Axel it. But then do you want to ignore both those followers? Because, oh man, that early tempo is so strong. The world is banned, so yeah, no world. Say your prayers, punk. Decisions. I feel like if by turn 4 you haven't Axel the Ambelt, you might as well just hold it, right? It'll be a bit too slow after. See, here's where like I don't necessarily love the Joyverse deck. Not saying it's bad, it's obviously working out for him, but it's like, okay, he had a good early lead, and then his hand is like these like techie cards that they just don't do too much of anything. Although a 2 playpoint 4/3 rush draw card is a pretty good Shadowverse card. Definitely nothing wrong with that. But I guess that was a turn to just draw and set up for the future, and his one of Kuon is picked up. See if he can spell boost it. Can't deny for some card draw. Is this gonna be the Wilbert on curve? On curve because he, you know, ramped into it. Yeah, his deck has 1 Kuon and 2 shops. You know, again, it's a little weird, but it's a weird format anyway, so who's to say what's right and what's wrong? I did like his deck when we saw it yesterday. It was cool.
Those wing wretched.
Okay, so Wilbert effect online. Just think just hard cast the Ambelt in the future. You know, the fact that you open with it but didn't have a chance to exile it, that feels kind of bad. I guess he didn't have it turn 1, right? But from turn 2 on. Another Gunslinger. A couple Meisers. Meiser has good synergy with the Great Trees, so not bad, right? So maybe just get a bunch of Rapid Fires. Does not seem like a bad idea at all. Picks up a Vincent as well. Is this just Eva one of these?
Quite talkative for someone without a
I mean,
brain.
I always catch the varmint.
I guess he can double Rapid Fire the Wilbert, right? Playing Rapid Fire is gonna spell boost the Kuon as well. A la farce, just a shop deck, right? Okay, he takes 2 damage from the Wilbert, but 2 Meisers left up. Does that mean that Justin is going to just Ambelt those? Do you want to ignore those? I feel like you really don't, right? Especially because if you ignore it, he can also Evo this one and then discount Rapid Fires. Kind of scary.
Gunfire.
Ambelt is going to clear the board, but that is just his entire turn. It also pushes face damage, which is good for him. We'll see how Joyverse responds. Picks up another Outrun tomorrow. Vincent is there. You're not going to be free Evo, but he still has an Evo, so it'll still be a play.
Do you possess the courage?
Okay, so now he has both the Vincent loot effects.
Yes. You might die from this.
But man, every time he attacks, he's taking that 2 damage. That Wilbert damage really adds up, right? And then Rapid Fire. Gets the full clear. Then just Outrun for some card draw, because it definitely needs that. Okay, so Justin has Enchanted Knights for card draw, which is good. Still has an Evo, so a cheaper Cave Shrine seems really good. It also gave him a better Apostle. So that just seems like a pretty solid turn of Shadowverse. Let's see what he picks up. What does he want at this point? Definitely the Raw, right? At this stage, you just need damage, so Raw is pretty good. He might die from this. Vincent is cool. Vincent is a lot cooler than I thought he would be. Okay, he's gonna go for all the card draw. And then counterattack for the clear, it seems like. Going to hold this Evil Point. Imagine we're definitely gonna see the Winged Dragon of Ra next turn. There's no way he doesn't play it, right? Okay, what is the play for Joyverse? Doesn't need a gun when he has his word. Okay, draws another one. Terra Nova is gonna buff the dudes. Give him Words of Judgment. And then Words of Judgment are free because he has the Great Tree. Gonna be a full clear on those. Really, really strong plays. All while spell boost on the Kuon. Like when the deck, you know, starts popping off, it seems really strong. Everything kind of just flows nicely. Might be setting up to, you know, potential Kuon lethal. Yo, Noir in the chat. How's it going, Noir? Welcome. Okay, if Justin loses this, he's... Well, he's not out, but, you know, he loses the set. Because Joyverse won the first one. Once again, Ambolt clears. That means that we're not seeing the Winged Dragon of Ra just yet. That damage really missing. Vincent was unparalleled at the school debate. Okay, I don't think... Is there lethal for Joyverse? I don't think so, right? He's getting close. The Kuon... You don't really want to attack those wards. That's the problem, man. Attacking those wards... You know, there could be a Ra and no world invocation. Okay, there's one word of judgment. So you can silence the Ambolt, and then you can't attack it. I've made this mistake 1,000,000 times. Ambolt's pretty good. Ambolt is not in the story, right? I don't think it's a story character. Or maybe he will show up, I don't know. Taking his time.
Listen to your heart and acknowledge
I mean, the Vincent
defeat.
Evo is free. Definitely want to do that.
Justice himself.
Haven't seen him yet. Okay, maybe he's not in
Might
there.
die from this.
Like, at this point, his life matters a lot. Because although Justin hasn't played Raw, there's always the chance that he did have one. Similar to some cards in Silver Rebellion? Yeah, like Lemonade. Why was Lemonade not in the... Oh, did he run out of time? That's gonna be lethal for Justin. Actually, no, it's not. No, it is, because he has Mirror Prayers. He does have enough damage with Mirror Prayers. Yeah, it's not actually turn 10, it's turn 9. But he's making sure... Death Pounds.
You've been
Man,
chosen.
Justin's gonna tie up the series 1-1. Not bad. Seems like Joyverse was in a good spot there in the mid game. But, you know, as good as the deck flowed together at some points, at other points it like fell apart. And ultimately, Justin with the Ramiel, some Ambelt, and eventually the Raw. Just enough damage. Honkers in the chat. He's the Lemonade of the set. Do I have emote offs? Yes. The top chatter won. Hey, Justin may not be a top chatter this week. Robbed? You mean outplayed, right? His Vincent was very late. Well, he was able to set up like good words of judgments, right? It's just like when he had the lead, he didn't have just enough, I guess. Okay, now we're going to game 3. And Justin with the Shadowcraft. See, a cute dog, a monster trio. That card is pretty good. It turns out that this is quite a Shadowverse card, huh? When you put so many effects on one card, I guess it just ends up being good, right? Like, if you just take a card and you just like splash a bunch of effects into it, how bad could it be, right, chat? Couple keywords, fanfare last words, end of turn effect. It could play Bone Fanatic, and then, you know, early Smorkin might choose the Procession instead, valuing the card draw more than the early tempo. I like simple cards like Part of Greed. It helps to be able to play it for free with the Grem. I mean, Grammar is pretty good, that's for sure. Like the fact that you play for free and it never costs you the shadows and you get the play points back, it's pretty bonkers. Okay, we'll see how the rune fares this time. Well, I guess Justin just gets some shadows, picks up some card draw. The Bone Fanatic. Do you guys think that Bone Fanatic and Bone Bonanza, do you guys think they're friends? Like,
serve in hopes of a better tomorrow.
do they hang out on the weekend? Another trio. Bone. Okay, Justin's doing a good job of just, you know, drawing a bunch of cards. Just drawing a bunch of cards. They have to hang out and they talk about their bone collection, right? Which I guess when you... sounds kinda creepy.
I serve in hopes of a better
I feel
tomorrow.
like that Bandit was such a good top deck, right? Like the early Bandit really lets the rune have good early tempo. And he just top decked that.
Hands up!
They have a common interest, yeah.
Everything all right
Probably
here?
buddies. Okay, once again we're seeing that very strong early game from the Rune. Using the vehicles with the bandit. What is Justin gonna play to take the bike? Probably doesn't want to ignore the bandit. They're both bone to be fabulous. Justin only has 7 shadows, no wraith, no lovers. Oh, he's thinking of Necro Impulse? I think that Necro Impulse is a full clear, right? Because one ghost takes the bike, it is a full clear. Does that make it the best play? I wonder. He can also play the corpse guy, the pick, because he gets 2 ghosts out of that. So many different plays that turn, honestly, like so many different plays. Ends up going with the linear skeleton, but then if he plays the dog, he loses procession target. So I guess he can procession first and hope that he finds another target. Doesn't actually work out, so he's not fully entering the board and flooring the play point. Can Joyverse take advantage of this? Gonna just slam that Vincent. Get the leader effects as soon as possible.
Quite talkative.
And I guess with some face damage in there.
Brain.
Open your ears.
Everything all
Yeah, just to near like another 1-drop there. Only 10 shadows, but he does pick up the Wraith. Like Wraith on 6 is probably exactly what he needs, right? That Vincent is spooky, man, though. Like, you do not want to ignore that Vincent. 6/6. Justin does have answer to it. He can answer it with the corpse or the jack shovel. And now that Joyverse is set up with the Vincent loot effects, once he can follow that up, you know, he has again like that spell boost, Natura, vehicle, got a little bit of everything. We'll see if he can put it together, you know, and close out the game.
So much more to access.
Okay, gonna use the guild, pick up some card draw, maybe like a slash or something. It's not gonna slash, but does pick up a Gremory, which at this point is just a warden, 3 shadows. Yeah, do not sleep on the Vincent, that's for sure. Okay, a Miser is picked up. Great Tree. It's a Great Tree, Respite, Miser, is that the play? Does he have his speedy boots on? Looks like he does. Okay, so that's 1 rapid fire. On Evo, he gets another one. The bandit not quite amazing there.
Do you possess the courage to survive?
Eventually, enough rapid fires will also proc the Vincent lead effect. So that 3rd rapid fire would be very strong. But he was only able to generate 2, at least right
Everything
now.
all right here?
Yeah, I'd like to see him
Everything
just go
all right
phase
here?
because eventually you're gonna lose to the Shadow late game, so think him going phase is good. Gonna save the rapid fires, not even going to answer the 1/1s. And I think this is just very clearly gonna be a Wraith from... This is like an incorrect trade. Why didn't he trade the 1/1 against this 1/1?
Enemy identified.
Oh, I guess it's fine because this isn't die to it, so he's gonna just keep it healthy.
Enemy
I guess his play's actually fine. He still gets a full board clear, picks up all the shadows, and he is gonna have
This
enough for a
ain't
Gremory
ideal,
next
this
turn.
is.
And, you know, with a couple trios in hand, can there be any better follow-up? I guess he's debating where he's going to Evo over this, but it's just a 1/1. Having the Evo would let him do what next turn? Maybe just push more damage with the Necro Impulse. That might be worth it. Shadow is cheat. Shadow is pretty good. It looks like Joyverse was off to such a good start when the set started. And then even this game he looked pretty good at the start, but like I said, the Wraith on 6 is too strong. Justin got set up. And like at this point, the best that Joyverse can do is clear the board, right? You can do some cool plays to clear the board. Maybe push in a little bit of face damage. But we know what's gonna happen next. I've seen this movie before. Now, to be fair, I don't think that Justin is gonna have lethal next turn. But maybe he doesn't need to. Maybe just play 1, 2, 3, 4 trios and that would call it a day. Can Joyverse, you know, survive and push enough damage? Like, he necessarily has 2 turns. This turn, and then maybe one more turn after that to, you know, get the kill. So he just needs damage. And how does he get the most damage is the question. The cool one is still very, very expensive.
Everything all right here?
Such an expensive cool one. Authorin would have cleared. He could have kept the 1/1 go phase with it. Okay, well, there's the Gremory, and I think it's just double trio. It just seems so good to me. Yeah, it's too strong. 1 trio, 2nd trio. And that's a board, man. How many stats is that? That's 24 worth of stats. And each one has 3, well, each one has like 6 effects, right? Like, oh man, it's just too much, too many keywords, too many effects, too much damage. That's Shadowverse, man. Now, Joyverse deck does have ways to, you know, silence. But can he silence not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 trios? I don't think that he can, right?
Nothing stops me once I got my speedy boots on.
Okay, Meister. Well, the Words of Judgment are free. And I believe his Rapid Fire will AoE the board. So maybe he has enough to
Listen to your
clear.
heart and acknowledge defeat.
Right? Basically just fully clear the board. Which is pretty good. Although after doing so, he would just die to Necro Impulse. But, I mean, he's gotta try, right? Yeah, it is gonna be a full board clear, which is pretty cool. Like, not anybody could say that they could answer a board of 4 trios. And yet, against Shadow, even if you do that, it's just not good enough. We're gonna see Necro Impulse into Necro Impulse for 50,000 damage. And just like that, Justin will be 2-0 after round 2. That's too much damage, man. Too much damage. A clappy clap for both players. But it's Justin that takes the W. So, good job, Justin. Started off kind of rough, brought it back. Well done.